Hey friends, it's Megan Lorson back with another video. Today I'm going to show you how to do a fluffy pulled out braid. So I'm going to show you how to get those really pretty full fluffy braids that you see incorporated into all kinds of different bridal styles, whether it's up or down. I'm going to show you how to get the maximum amount of fluff in the braid, even if someone has really fine, thin hair. Of course, you can only make the braid so big if someone's hair is really fine, really thin. I'm going to show you some products that you can use in the hair to maximize that braid, to give it the maximum amount of fluff. And typically, I will always start with the braid first if I'm incorporating it into a style, whether it's an updo or down style. And the reason I like to start the braid typically first is because if I need to or want to change the part at all because we want to make the braid fluffier and my client decides, oh, can we make it a little bit fluffier? Then I can tell them, yes, we can. We just might need to move your part over a little bit more. So it's easier to do that first versus start the style in the back and then do the braid and then decide after, oh, I want to change the part up. That might involve you taking the whole back style down. So that is my reasoning for typically starting with the braid first if there is a braid in the style. All right, so let's get right into it. This is gonna be a shorter video. I'm gonna show you exactly how I like to do my fluffy braids. So let's get into it. Okay, so these are probably two of my all-time favorite products to use when I am trying to expand a braid and get it to look as fluffy and big as possible. Using a texturizing powder in the hair is going to help you expand that braid, or even a twist. I use this in twist too if you're trying to make it look really full. This is a great way to maximize that to get it more voluminous. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some of the Big Sexy powder play. So I'm just gonna unscrew the top, and this is what it is. And you just sprinkle and tap it on just a little bit at a time. You never dump it or anything like that. You barely tip it and then you just tap it because you just want a little bit to come out. All right, so we're gonna start right in the front. So I'm gonna take a slight diagonal section, and the way I always work when doing styles in the hair, I never take super clean sectionings or partings. To me, it helps the style flow a lot nicer and prettier when you don't worry about taking super clean sections. So a lot of times I'll be taking zigzag sections or like zigzag sections with my finger and just kind of making sure it's not super clean. Okay, so I'm gonna take a slight diagonal section starting kind of towards the tail end of the eyebrow, going straight up and just doing a slight diagonal, because you want to start with a decent amount of hair in your hand. And of course, if you want to pull hair down, go ahead and pull that out now. And then I'm going to split the hair in 3 sections. Once you have 3 even sections, what you want to do to make your braid pop the most is you want to do what is called a Dutch braid, meaning that each section is going to go underneath the middle. So here's our first section on the outer side. You want to take that underneath the middle. And then our very far section on the left, you're now going to take that section under the middle. And they're going to continue to do that. So this outer section on the right is going under the middle section. Now this section furthest in my left is going under the middle. And then we're going to continue doing this. Now when I start getting a little bit of a braid, you guys can see I've got like a little bit of a braid started there. That's when I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of my texturizing powder and just tap it in there, and then you can kind of work it in or like do this so the powder like sets into the hair. And then I'm going to start pinching and pulling out some of the volume and texture. Now I pretty much take the outer corner or the outer piece of it and I'm just like fanning it out so it makes it look very fluffy. Okay, and then I'm going to continue the braid. I'm gonna braid, each side comes under. And when doing this, you can also do a French Dutch braid, which is where you're gathering hair and incorporating into it. This is just a simple Dutch braid, so you can see it's detached from the head. I will show you a French Dutch braid in just a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this all the way to basically where I would stop it. So say we're gonna like wrap it around here. That's about where I would stop the braid. I don't need to really go too much further than this. So at this point, I'm going to take my powder and sprinkle it on the hair very lightly. Again, you don't want to dump like a ton of powder, and you also want to be careful that you're not getting too much powder like down into the rest of this hair, because then that can start to create frizz and make it really hard for you to work through the style. Okay, then we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up, because there's more hair down here and it's going to release some of this tension. So that's why we're starting from the bottom and working our way up. And again, I'm just taking my thumb and my pointer finger, and I'm just very carefully pulling out this braid to fluff it. And again, I'm just working from side to side all the way up. And then I just kind of work up and down. So I start from the bottom and work up, and then I'll start from the top and work back down to just really perfect that braid and really pull it out as much as I possibly can, depending on the client's hair. And again, we're just fanning it out and fluffing it as much as we can. Now I'm working my way back down from side to side. Just gently. I'm almost doing a little bit of like this motion as I'm pulling it out to like fan the pieces out. Okay, and then there is one way to do a big fluffy braid. So this one's just kind of sitting on top. It's very full, very fluffy. You could even keep pulling it out a little bit more. You can pull up some more volume in the front. But there is one braid. Now I'm going to show you how to do a Dutch French braid, which basically means it's going to be like stuck in the hair. You won't be able to pick it up like this. It's like braided into the hair. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to start by taking that corner section. I'm going to divide it into 3 even sections. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to take the outer section that's in my right hand. It's going to go under the middle, and then the left hand section is going to go under the middle. And then at this point, we're going to grab some hair in with this outer hair, and then we're just going to take all of that underneath the middle section. Then the hair in my left hand, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to grab some hair. Now it's important when you are grabbing the hair that you make sure that the sectioning is how you want it, so you don't have like a random hair coming from somewhere, because you don't want to finish the braid and then have like some random hairs in here. You want to keep the hair you want basically the hair to fall where it naturally would as you're braiding, if that makes any sense. Okay, so then we're going to come back over to the left. We're going to grab a little bit more hair and then bring it under the middle. And then we're going to continue to do that. So the left side, I'm going to grab a little bit more hair, bring it under the middle. We're going to grab some of this hair in with our section on the right side, bring all of it under the middle, and then I'm going to grab a little bit more hair on the left side, bring all of that under the middle, and then I'm going to grab a little bit more hair right here. And then at this point, I don't want it to continue down the head being attached. So then I'm going to finish out the rest of the braid just being like a single Dutch braid. but we've got a lot more hair incorporated in here because we've grabbed so much hair, which is also going to make it thicker. Okay, and then right about here, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of that Powder Play texture powder by Big Sexy Hair. And then do the same thing that we did for the first braid. I'm going to work my way from the bottom up and just fan out this braid by just very carefully pulling it out. And I'm just going to pinch and pull, pinch and pull. And then the more hair you do have in a braid, if someone's hair is super thick, just be careful because you might be able to and start pulling it out too much and get it too big and too fluffy. So just because you can pull this braid out more doesn't mean you should or you need to. So just make sure that the braid is balanced and proportional to the style you're creating, their head shape, the look they're going for, all of that. Okay, so I'd say that is pretty good. I wouldn't want it a whole lot fluffier than that. So this is a French Dutch braid. So you can see how it's attached all the way up here in this top portion since we grabbed in so much hair. And then it's detached here so you could bring it back around to incorporate it into like an updo, or if it's gonna be like a half up, half down style, you know, you can place it wherever you need to. Sometimes I'll take an elastic band and tie off my braids. Other times I'll just bobby pin it. I would say majority of the time I'm usually taking an elastic band and tying it off and then hiding it in my updos or wherever, whatever I'm doing. So that is how you do a single Dutch braid as well as a fluffy Dutch French braid. All right, thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial today. I hope you learned a lot and you enjoyed it. If you did and you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other content coming your way. I've got tons and tons of content planned for this channel. Lots more bridal hair tutorials, bridal business, how to grow your bridal business. So if you're interested in any and all of that, make sure you subscribe and comment down below if you have any other video suggestions. I love reading your comments. And follow me on Instagram as well at megan.lorson and shoot me a DM. I've been getting so many messages from you that have been watching my channel and I love hearing your stories and like how these videos are helping you. I've had so many moms message me recently just telling me the struggle of like they are torn, they want to be at home with their babies and they really love the bridal industry and how do they get started in it. And I love hearing the stories. Keep them coming. I love connecting with other moms, other bridal business owners, bridal business girls. So just hit me up. I love connecting with y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Your support means so much. Thank you for watching all my videos and keeping up with all my content. I love y'all so much and I will see you in the next one.